everybody, for taking a few moments of your busy Friday to talk a little Kent State football. We've got Flashbowl 2 coming up tomorrow evening at Dick Stadium at 6 o'clock. Coach, just let's start with a very basic question. Just an opening statement about the excitement of spring and getting ready to showcase the hard work you've been doing tomorrow.
Sure. I want to start by just, not like always, but I want to start by giving some credit to a couple teams that had some outstanding things happen to them over this offseason, over the past month or two here. And start off by a group that I don't believe gets enough credit. They bring the energy to Dick Stadium every time they're out there, and they're a big part of the atmosphere that's there. And that's our cheer and dance team. You know, our cheer team was down in nationals and finished 8th out of 23 teams, and also had one of the highest places that they've ever had, and one of the highest places of any G5 school in the cheer and dance world. And then our dance team finished the highest in program history, finished in 2nd in Division I Jazz, and 3rd in Division 1A and Division I Hip Hop as well, and that was the highest place program in school history for them as well. So really excited for both of those two, and then hopefully they keep the success going. And then we had a couple champions in the athletic world with our men's track team winning the 2nd ever indoor championship, and then our gymnastics teams won their 10th MAC regular season title. And then there's nothing to be said about this one. This one always happens. It's like a national holiday. Our women's golf team won their 25th MAC championship in a row, which is awesome for them. And then obviously our women's basketball team and their success as well. So congratulations to all those teams and everything they got going this season for them. For spring ball, let's talk about that. Spring ball obviously was a lot of success as I saw guys develop and grow and become better at their craft. Are we there? No, but I think we got closer as a football team of being all in and understanding the demand that it takes to have a winning culture. And that was the positive of spring ball. Guys started to buy in more than what I've seen previous to that. But excited about our football team. Still got a lot of work to do. Obviously, we have a good understanding of where we are now. And I told our coaches that, like, listen, they gave us exactly where we are, okay, as a football team. Now it's our job to raise our floor and then also find things we need in the portal to fix our problems and our deficiencies as a football team. So excited about our team, excited about Flashbowl 2. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Well, let's start things off with the Hustle Bud, Steve Helwick. Steve, do you have any questions for Coach?
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
Earlier in the winter workouts, there was a photo, I think Kent State official account posted of you wearing a hoodie with a 133 on it and a 1 and 11. What was the process of making that hoodie, and what message were you trying to send, and how do you think that a message was received by your team, especially the returning players that were a part of that?
Sure, that's a great question. That was a hoodie that I wore. I didn't know it was going to get out, but it did, obviously, with social media and other stuff. But what that was just about ownership. You know, we couldn't run away from what we had done previously in this year. We had to own it, and it starts with me as the head coach owning it, okay? Owning where our deficiencies were last year, where we fell short, and understanding that we were ranked 133, last team in the country, and it is what it is. But you can't run away from that as a competitor. You got to learn from it and grow from it and constantly be reminded daily that we don't want to go there again. And we've got enough talent, I believe, to not be there again. But it was more of a motivation, not just for the team, but for myself as well, to be consistent in my coaching and to teach and demand, and they got to play and perform. But then also letting them know that, you know what, don't even though we're getting better as a football team, don't forget what we are our past, and we got to embrace our past and create our future. So we embraced it. The guys took it and weren't embarrassed by it. They learned from it. We were constantly reminded of last year and how we don't want to go down that road again. So when guys were struggling to get motivated, they found ways to get inspired by my sweatshirt. And I thought the guys, they really embraced it.
And last year, the offensive line was one of the more youthful groups that you were sending out at the beginning of the year. Now with the whole year of gelling together and basically that whole group back, how do you think having that offensive line back this year has really helped you guys?
I think it's been great. You know, the one thing I'll say is it's created competitiveness because we've actually started 7 or 8 guys last year, and they're all back. And, we've kind of used some different rotations with guys, moving some guys from tackle to guard, just really trying to find our best 5. But last year, there wasn't this sense of competitive nature in that room. We had who we had, and it was what it was. Well, now we've got 7, 8 guys that can go in the game and play. And, I know people looked at me crazy when I didn't take all these guys out of the portal at the O-line position, but we had everybody coming back. They're going to be a year better. You can see it now. And I think we're doing things offensively that really fit their skill set. And I think that's a big part of it as well, knowing what they do. And Coach Carney does a great job of knowing what they do and making plays that fit them. And I think I'm really excited about that group. They had a really good spring. Still got a ways to go. I believe we're going to add some really good high school players to that as well, and maybe one in the portal. But I really like our depth at O-line and like where the room's going.
And then last thing I had was you were mentioning filling some of the cracks in the portal. Who are some of these portal guys that you got that you think are culture pillars or guys that have been vocal leaders of Kent State football from day one arriving on campus?
So I would say the guys that we brought in. You're asking who we brought in? That was yeah, sure. We brought in some really. I thought this was a phenomenal job of our coaches of identifying what we need in the winter and bringing guys in that fit that mold. And you look at Mason Woods, linebacker from Townsend. He's a heck of a football player, a leader. He was, I believe, a freshman All-American at the FCS level. Just a winner, and you can see it instantly with how he plays football, how he goes about his preparation. Dallas Branch, the corner out of San Diego State, he obviously played there. He's come here and made an immediate impact as well on that side of things. And then you look at Connor Modize, who's the tight end, another guy who's coming and had an immediate impact on our offense, and the list goes on. Jaden Dodson's done a great job. But we brought guys in who had a crack on their shoulder and who wanted to be here. The one thing I'll credit Coach Cindy, I visited with him at the end of the season, and he said to me, you got to get guys who want to be here. Definitely in this world of portal. And I took that to heart, and I really invested in that when we went out and looked for guys. And, I think we've got the right portal group here, and we'll fill some spots with one or two guys. And I'm sure we'll have a little bit of attrition after the spring game. But I think we're in a really good spot. And I think there's 3,000 guys in the portal right now. So there's we'll be able to find some guys that can fit our brand and help us win championships.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Let's jump over to the voice of the Golden Flashes, Rob Polinsky. Rob, any questions for Coach?
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Just kind of following up on Steve's question there and your answer. So you still would anticipate some guys leaving and then having to fill some of those holes. How do you go about that, and when is it officially that you know who your team is, and how long do you have to bring more guys in?
I'd say by the end of May, you probably got a good pulse on where your team is. Listen, this is college football now. This is the world we live in. Guys have the ability, if they don't like where they're at on the depth chart, to move on and leave. I don't anticipate any starters leaving, but I can see some guys who are 2s, 3s who want to play and have an opportunity to play, maybe hop in the portal, and it might be mutual between both sides. And that's part of college football. My job as a head coach is to put the best football team out there, and I think the portal gives you an option to do that more sooner than later. I think last year was about foundation and really laying down the foundation of our football team and what we stand up for and what we believe in. And now this year, I think we as coaches have a good understanding of what we have, and now we've got to find the pieces to make it even better. And with that comes attrition on your own roster. I mean, every school in America is going through this, and if you look at us, we're one of the lower teams in the portal numbers in the MAC. We haven't had much, and definitely in this window. And I don't expect much more. I think our team is really connected right now. But again, I think if guys do leave, it's because they want the opportunity to play and start, and that might not be here for them.
Thanks. I just didn't know how long you had to make that decision on leaving.
You got literally till I think May 1st. So
Okay.
yeah, so right after the game, a couple days there, guys can decide, and we'll have exit meetings like we always do, and have some conversations, and try to get on the same page with our roster. But the great thing about me is I'm very transparent with these guys, where they're at. I don't lie to anyone. We got a saying, real is rare, so we're always real with where guys are at, and we'll kind of take it from there.
How would you compare this spring to last spring? Just kind of overall, what you were able to get done and accomplish.
Yeah.
If you would look to kind of last spring to this spring.
Sure, I think night and day. I think last spring you were teaching guys how to do things the way you wanted them done. This year they know how to do them. Now we're teaching them how to compete at the highest level. We talked about playing harder for longer. I think there was parts in games where we played really, really hard, but we didn't maintain it throughout the whole game. So the spring was about that, competing at a high level for longer, and understanding that you got to win your 1 and 11, not do someone else's job, but do your job every single play. But it was night and day, and then the guys would say the same. They looked way more comfortable in the system. and the practice format and everything that we were doing. And that's the exciting part for me, because now we can actually get to coaching football and not coaching the cultural stuff that we believe in here. Now it's them. Year one, you really, the head coach is kind of teaching everyone the culture. By year two, you're hoping that it's their culture and they're running with it. And I thought we started to see signs of that in spring ball.
My last one for you, Coach, is just kind of wondering overall what you're hoping to see and accomplish tomorrow. Obviously, I know you want to stay healthy, but what do you look for in a spring game, and what do you want to see the guys?
Spring games are for the players. They're going to have fun with it. The teams are evenly split. There's not much depth on the team, so I hope they stay healthy. Obviously, that's the biggest goal. But I want them to have fun. This has been a hard spring. It was not easy. And typically, year twos that I've been a part of, they're not easy springs. You're going to really kind of squeeze everything out of the orange and get everything you possibly can. These guys have not ran away from it. They've attacked it. So I told them I want to see them go out there, have fun, compete. Obviously, we always want to compete, but to have fun with each other and playing for each other.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
We swing things over to his partner in crime, Tom Evans. Tom, any questions for Coach?
I know Coach waited 6 months for me to ask you a question about the offensive line, and Steve jumped me on that one. I'll move over to the defensive line, Coach. Coach, new defensive coordinator. One thing I've learned by being around football is that while defensive schemes may be similar, they're never identical.
Yeah.
What are we going to see out of the Golden Flash defense this year?
Yeah, we are who we are. I always say that, and we're finishing up the process of hiring a D coordinator, but we are who we are. And I have beliefs in the front. We're always going to be a 4-down front here. We can do some stuff on the back end with coverages to let defensive coordinators have their identity, but we're always going to be sound and we're always going to be gap sound. That's the biggest thing to me, is to be sound, have sound defense and be gap sound to stop the run. And so you're going to see a lot of that now. What you do blitz-wise, what you do in the back four to disguise coverages and that stuff, that's always going to be the defensive coordinator's kind of call there. But the essence of our defense is going to stay the same. And that was one thing that the players right away wanted to talk about. They like what we do defensively. They feel themselves getting better in it. I wasn't going to change that anytime soon. I believe in it. I know that system. I've been a part of that system for the last 8-10 years. So it's what I know, and we're going to do it because we believe in it, for sure.
Coach, after going through spring practices here, is there anybody that's really kind of jumped off the page that is making a huge jump from last year to this year? I know they all kind of make their games, but every now and again, some guys just kind of come off the page. Anybody do that for you?
Yeah, I told our staff, our sophomore class had a heck of a spring. Our redshirt sophomore class, and I think that's like the Stephen Dailies of the world. The guy who really jumped off the screen this spring was Rocco Nickel, a linebacker. We moved him to will linebacker. He played outside linebacker a little bit last year, and I always thought he was an in-the-box linebacker, so we moved him to will, and he's just had a heck of a spring. If I had to give an MVP to someone, it's probably him for what he did this spring. It was really impressive. And then you add a running back like Kai Thomas into the mix, a guy who's got a ton of experience at the Big Ten level, started games at that level. His ability shows right away that he belongs. And he had a great spring as well. And then John Jackson, defensive lineman, another young guy who had another phenomenal spring, was running a lot of reps with the ones, did a great job. So those are the four that come to mind right away. And I talked about a couple of our transfer guys. Dallas Branch is a terrific football player, and really impressed with how he plays the game is really impressive. And then Mason Woods, talked about him as well. You look at our linebacker room, if we can stay healthy, that is a talented room between Mason, Rocco, Caleb, all being here. And then we got Jayden Studio, who's a mid-year true freshman who came in and did a great job as well. But really excited about that position group and then those guys.
Coach, last question for me. We're into our second year of the NIL, and obviously with the Power Fives, it's a whole different animal. Has it had an impact on you or how you go about things, or is somebody else managing that part of it for you? Talk to me about NIL and Golden Flashes.
Yeah, NIL, I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, I've said that before. It's something that's constantly moving. You throw that in with the transfer portal, it's like it's a force that you cannot stop right now. That is a part of the college game. I think we've got complete support from the administration here on being creative with how we address NIL. We're learning more and more about it every single day. I think the one thing that you're going to know is that you have to be who you are. And at Kent State, we'll never be all about NIL. and I tell our players that all the time. But what we do believe in, and from our president to our athletic director to the head football coach, is an experience, creating an elite experience for our student athletes. And that's what you see on social media. That's what you see from our players. And I still believe that matters. And yeah, we have an NIL space. It's growing daily. We've got a great support staff that works on that daily. But for us, again, I'm never going to lose the sense of they've got to enjoy where they're at. And I think that's how you keep retention on your roster. And like I said, we had a lot of guys stay this spring. You haven't seen, I think, 2 guys hop in the portal. That's it. And I think it's because they enjoy being at Kent State. And I think we've got to keep that at the forefront of what we're doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
We'll see you Saturday.
Yep.
All right, Coach, I got a couple from guys that couldn't make it. The big question is, what do you expect out of Coach Starkey and Coach Kenni tomorrow when they talk X's and O's with you? We saw a little bit of something. I think a lot of 9 routes, but I want you to know what you expect out of those guys.
Well, so they were on my show, my series Ballin' with Burns, and first they don't know how to play PS2 or PS4, sorry, and then secondly, I know Cindy's gonna throw the ball every single down, and Starkey's just gonna find a way to have fun with trick plays for sure. But no, it should be fun and exciting, and I'm sure there's some side wagers between those two on this game as well. So it should be fun.
Well, you're going to kind of rein them in, obviously, a little bit with the trick plays, but for those that are looking forward to
I'm not reining
Saturday-
anybody in. One thing I learned about coaching, man, you can't rein another coach in. They're going to do what they do.
But explain the format a little bit and what fans can expect tomorrow as we
Sure.
kind of give them a little bit of a teaser to what to expect in Flashbowl 2.
Yeah, first, you're going to want to see the coin toss. It's very unique. It's not a normal coin toss, which nobody knows the secret behind that but me. But it'll be very basketball themey as well. But then we split our coaching staff in half, split our team in half completely, and literally had a draft with the coaching staff, and they're going to call the game like normal. Then the honorary head coaches are going to manage the game and make sure we go for it on certain downs, and when to call, they're going to be able to call trick plays and have some say in when to pass, when to run. But it should be a lot of fun for sure. And then at halftime is going to be the Coach Burns Grit halftime show, which I think everybody will enjoy that as well. But this should be a fun event. And spring games are to me meant to engage the fan base, engage our players, get some personality showing. And then I like to highlight other cool things around our community, our university, and then our city. And I think if you watch our basketball team the past 2 years, with the men going 2 years ago to the tournament, the women going this year, there's so much excitement around those two sports, and it's just our way of showcasing them even more for what they've done over the past couple of years here.
Coach, any final thoughts? Those were the last questions that we had.
You know what? We had I think it was a productive spring. I hesitate from saying good because for a coach, nothing's ever good enough. But it was a productive spring, and like I told our guys, we've got to find a way to attack the summer. As they go away for a couple weeks, they'll come back, and summer is going to hit them right in the face. And I really like our football team. I like the leadership of our team. I think we've got a lot of experienced players that are coming back that understand the value of the ball, the value of our culture and what we're doing. And I'm excited for the future, for sure.
Any final questions from the group? All right,
Awesome.
Coach, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, appreciate the coverage, guys. Go Flashes, Kent Grit.